Hey, this is Lynn. This is actually Tuesday. I've completed 108 weeks of the carnivore diet, and June is a month where Coach Lisa told me do not weigh in until the end of the month. She's got a fitness challenge going on, and I did really well until last Tuesday. It's been a week. Now, I did do exercises today, but I absolutely wore myself ragged when we had the Healing Humanity crew here. We had the meetup, the filming of my interview and my first flight, and oh my goodness, and then the daily workouts. I wore myself out. So I actually was feeling like I was getting to the edge and possibly too much stress, feeling like I was borderline on getting to be maybe reactive. So I had to listen to my body and take a rest. So that's what I've been doing is I've been trying to rest. Now, I can't rest completely because we are getting our home ready to sell. And so I've had to really just pace myself. So I did do exercise today. I did not film it because she didn't give us any official exercises. I did one of her workouts. I think I noticed that she does have exercises listed for tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to get those filmed. But I know there has been a week gap in me getting these exercises filmed because I have not been doing them. My body was so sore after all the activity and after all the exercises, and I just came to the end. So I'm being realistic with myself and realizing when I need to take a break. So my daughter was going to do exercises with me yesterday. That changed because she gave herself a mild concussion. And so she has to rest for a couple of days. She ended up in the ER, and she was probably a little embarrassed because we were out with our realtor looking at properties, and she swerved really fast and hard to avoid an insect and didn't realize how close she was to the inner corner of the car door and just slammed her head like right here on it. And that was with the second property. And I didn't realize how hurting she was until we actually started to get out of the car for the third property, and she was still sitting in the car and she was nauseated. Her head hurt her like crazy, and she was like the light was getting to be like too intense, just the regular sunlight. She was feeling like her right eye, the vision was a little off. So I said, well, she needs to go to the ER and get checked out. So she spent the whole evening in the ER. And so it is a concussion. She's got to be careful and rest. So she rested today and yesterday, and no caffeine. She can take Tylenol. But her vision's improved. Her tolerance for the light is better. Her head's hurting still, but not quite as much. But definitely she cannot be doing the exercises until at least Thursday. So it's been quite an adventure. So we did put an offer in on that 25-acre property, and we really didn't want to offer what was being asked because we'd have to put maybe $200,000 or $300,000 into getting the house the way we want it, and the guy turned down our offer. So we're moving on, and we found another property that we really are interested in, and so we shall see what happens with that. We are praying about it. We're talking about it as a family. It is very move-in ready. It's very ready for us, and it has 2 living arrangements, so they're not in separate buildings. With this one, it's a downstairs that's fully finished, probably 1,800 square foot. It's a really nice size for my daughter and son-in-law, and then the upper portion of the house is probably, I don't know, 20-some hundred square feet, but it's a beautiful home. And property is a little less. It's just about 15 acres, but it really feels big. So it is very beautiful. So we're going to just see, we always feel as though when the right property comes, everything will work out, and if it's not working out, then we need to move on. So Dave and I have bought and sold properties since the late 90s. And so we've learned not to become emotionally attached to a property because deals can fall through. So, but we are working on getting our house ready. There's lots of work being done around here. And so it's pretty tiring. Like, I literally didn't even do anything to my hair today. It's just, yeah, it's been a lot. But one thing about this property that we looked at today, it has, a more flat area where the house is, but there's upper and lower pastures, and well, more lower pastures, but it is not flat. The other property was mostly flat, and then there was like a hill that went down into a lower pasture. This is much more hilly, and there are flat pasture areas, but they're down below. So we took a hike around I'd say the northern half of the property, and part of it's walking through the woods, but there's a trail that's cut through and we were able to follow. But parts of it were quite up hills, and to get back to the house was up pretty steep hill. And I did fine. And it was a bright sunny day. And when we finished walking around, we took probably maybe 30 minutes or so and walked all over the place. And coming back up the hill, I just noticed, wow, I'm not out of breath. So Coach Lisa's workouts are helping. Losing the weight is helping. Having myself less reactive is definitely helping. I couldn't have gone out that long in the sun before. I would have had a mast cell reaction. So I love it. It's just another confirmation that I am getting better and I'm doing so much better. In the past, I would not have even considered moving to a property that had that much of a hill and that had a lot of up and down. And but now I'm like, yeah, this is cool. In fact, it'd be a beautiful place to have some animals. The whole area, the whole thing is fenced. The pasture land is fenced, and there's some places where you can build more if you want to. But the fencing is good for even smaller animals like goats or sheep. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's got a shop for the men, and it's got a fire pit, and it's got a basketball court. It's got a kennel of some sort. I don't know what it was used for. But it has spaces where we can expand. And, there's a big concrete pad where they're already talking about an outdoor kitchen. It's like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We haven't even put an offer in yet. But we feel a lot better about this property than the previous one. Even though we did love the previous one, we did not love the house. And that means a lot because it's like you're going to live in the house. So this is definitely a much more functional home for us if we can get this property. So we're praying that it'll work out. We shall see. Maybe, we're going to pray about it, and maybe tomorrow I'll contact our realtor and see what happens. So, but it's been really amazing. I talked to Kerry and Adam today, and we had a Healing Humanity leadership team meeting, and it's just been such a blessing to be able to share my story. And now Kerry said it looks like he wants me to be one of the key featured people in the documentary, along with Bill Knott and Jeff DeProsperous. And it's like, whoa, I'm very honored. And, I know things can change. So, through the editing process and everything, but he's pretty excited about the work they did. And honestly, it is the work they did because they did a lot. And yes, I was filmed, but they did the work, and they did the interviewing, and they told me what to do, and so I'm really just grateful to have an opportunity to share my story and to share the healing that I've had. And for any of you who've been on my channel for any period of time, you know that I really want to help people who may not realize that they have a mast cell problem. And because I don't want people to have to suffer as long as I did. I had 35 years of suffering before I got a diagnosis. And now that we know that mast cell activation syndrome is a real condition and it is actually quite common, I'm very anxious to get my story out there because there are so many people who are frustrated because they have symptoms and the doctors aren't giving them any answers. And that's exactly what happened with me. I was having symptoms, head to toe symptoms, and sometimes they were worse and sometimes they were better. And the fatigue was always crippling. And so I was always just pushing, trying to survive and having nothing left to give to my family beyond what I could do at work, which was, limited. Even as a nurse, I couldn't work more than two shifts at a time. And when I came home, I was exhausted. My days off were not enjoyable at all. It was all recovery. And then later, when I started getting more reactive, it just became, like I said, I became disabled, completely disabled when things got at their worst. So I don't want this to happen to other people if it can be avoided. And so I'm really grateful to have an opportunity to be able to share my story. And I just hope and pray that it's well received and that the message will get out there that there are options. You can heal and you can take control of your health if you're willing to make the dietary and lifestyle changes that are needed. And I remember over the years all the times that I would hear about making dietary and lifestyle changes, but when I try to make the dietary changes that I was told to make, I couldn't do it. The cravings never left. I was always hungry and all the food noise in my head was still there. And the exhaustion never went away. And, generally my symptoms never went away. And I would lose a little bit of weight, but it would stall and then it wouldn't continue. And it just was not sustainable because I wasn't getting the nutrition that I needed. I wasn't getting the fat and the meat and all the vitamins and minerals in the meat and all of that, all the amazing amino acids and all of the things that my body needed. And if you are a human being, your body needs that too. And I remembered so much how long was I on low fat and just miserable? I would have still had my gallbladder if I hadn't have gone low fat. And so many of us are in that situation. But anyways, I am just giving an update. I am feeling good. I've gotten over the intense fatigue that from all of the filming and everything, and I'm not sore anymore. So that's good. I was able to do about 15 minutes of Coach Lisa's workout, which for me is about what I can do. So, I'm pretty excited and I'm anxious to see what happens at the end of the month. I don't feel like I'm gaining more weight. I had initially gained some weight when I was first trying to work out, and that's when she told me stop weighing. The weight will come back off, and I feel like it has. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to weigh in. Let's see, how about June 30th? Because that's a Monday. So that's going to be in 2 weeks. So that's when I will do a weigh-in and we'll see where I'm at. And if hopefully I'll have come down a little bit, my goal is to just be in better physical condition and not gain weight. That would be awesome. But then I would love to continue to lose weight. I still have quite a bit more to lose. So next month in July, we're going to be flying out to Wisconsin. We've got the meetup at Monticello, which is going to be great. And I'm going to be speaking at that meetup, which will be awesome. Coach Lisa will be there as well. And so I've got to get in shape because she's going to want me to work out with her on a video, which I'm a little nervous about. Who wants to work out right next to Coach Lisa? She's in such good shape. But anyways, I'll be the before. She can be the after. I wanted to also, for those of you who do follow our Keto Study Club, you can see we haven't been doing it for the last few weeks. That is because Kim is not able to do it with us anymore. So her work schedule's gotten crazy and her schedule with her sons have gotten kind of crazy. And so she has said that she can't continue to do the Keto Study Club with Kerry and I. We do have a replacement for her, which is going to be a fellow nurse. And so we will have that. We're going to probably be in 2 weeks starting. So keep an eye out and you'll see who it's going to be. I'm excited. And this is somebody that I have become friends with and who has had an incredible healing journey on the carnivore diet. So yeah, pretty excited. And so we're going to look forward to spending time with her, getting to know her, and continuing to dive in to the material. She has purchased the book and she is working on getting caught up, and she's going to read up to the point where we left off, and then we'll dive in there and get started again. I think that's it as far as the announcements, and I hope everyone's having an absolutely wonderful week, and thanks for being patient. I didn't do the video yesterday again because it was crazy busy and my daughter got a concussion. So anyways, have an absolutely wonderful week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.